to Bill Flynn in the morning.
Good morning. It is the Love Your Lawn Hour this morning. We talk about that on Tuesdays, and this is an especially critical time for you to really pay attention to what's going on with your lawn and get things ready, because if you miss this window starting literally right now and for the next few weeks,
sure,
if you miss the window to get it done, you're going to have a lesser lawn come springtime. There's no way to say it nicely. It's not going to be what it otherwise could be.
That's right. Good morning, Bill.
We got the folks at GrowinGreen in the house with us this morning. Tommy Cowett's here, an agronomist from North Carolina State, one of the managers at GrowinGreen. I've got to give a testimonial. I got to start the show with this. Yesterday, Kevin, one of your technicians.
Kevin O'Shea.
And Kevin's from New Hampshire.
That's right.
He's from New Hampshire.
He's a New Englander. He loves them Patriots.
But he's learned to talk in a Southern lingo. He understands it now.
On.
So anyway, he came out, and one of the other technicians was with him. Lee was helping out yesterday.
Okay.
And you had on my lawn, and I had it ready. I had it right. I cut it down low.
Try to get it low.
Saturday down. Normally I do 4 inches. Cut it to 3 inches on Saturday.
Okay.
I tried to do 2.5, but because you people at GrowinGreen,
blame it on me,
have done such a good job growing grass, it was clumping up so much I couldn't do 2.5 inches.
That's wonderful.
I had to go. Well, it was a great problem to have.
Yeah, nothing wrong with thick grass.
So I went to 3 inches because I knew you guys would be coming yesterday, and you're supposed to cut it down, shock it as
sure,
you talked about.
So you don't have to mow as often, or your next mowing. Hopefully, you'll be able to go a couple weeks without a mowing. That way, everything takes hold and seeds germinate. You don't disturb that seed bed.
I am not going to disturb it. I want to give it. Kevin said, look at about 3 weeks before you mow again. I said, okay, Kevin, because he was on site with me. We were talking about that. I said, all right. But what happened yesterday, GrowinGreen comes out. They do. You had two different devices, an aerator and a core remover, or what is it?
The core plugger. Or an aerator.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an aerator for your tough spots, for your, anything that's bare or compacted. We can really work.
I do have those areas, and you have to, tune the equipment to which part of the lawn you need.
Yep.
So anyway, that was all going on. Came out with that 100% weed-free seed.
You saw that yellow bag.
Oh, my gosh. And
with the big blue tag on it.
That's out there.
Which tells you that what's on that seed tag is definitely in that bag. That's a guarantee, that blue tag.
So that's a great thing. And then my job at this point is to not cut the grass and to make sure I put plenty of water on the lawn, which I'm already addressing even as this morning.
Watering once a day, 15 to 20 minutes, keeping it nice and moist. Maybe you can water twice if you want. You get it up quicker.
So I'm almost talking rice paddy. You want it wet. You
want to get it wet. You want to get the seed imbibed with water. It'll swell up, and then it'll produce a little radicle, which is the first root, and it'll find some soil or find its way into the core or some of the soil when the cores break down, and then you got it.
Now, here's the thing. Another cool thing happened yesterday. While I was out there talking to Kevin and to Lee, literally, a guy drives up in a pickup truck from the neighborhood and sees the GrowinGreen truck.
Okay.
He sees what you've done to my lawn, not just at that moment, but previously.
Okay.
He stops.
Hey, it's exciting.
Talks to Kevin. Turns out Kevin kind of knows him. This is how things go.
Oh, yeah, we're friendly people. So, we're very approachable.
It looks like you're going to have, literally on my street, 4 people on my street alone that are going to be all GrowinGreen people.
Man, I tell you, I just signed up over the weekend, and this articles I wrote kind of spurred this all on, but all my neighbors started calling me, and I spent all day Saturday visiting door to door with everybody on the corner around my house, going, Tommy, I want to get aeration and seeding. I want to get aeration. I'm signing up with you guys. I'm canceling the people I have. Look what they did to my yard. And I'm looking at the yards, and, yeah, I give it to them. It's been over 30 days of 90 degrees this summer. And most of the companies out there, they're not like us. They don't have the technology or the knowledge to keep these lawns going, especially the national companies that don't do fungicide program. And these lawns were devastated by disease, brown patch. And now they're going, I should have gone with you a long time ago. Your lawn is always so perfect. How do you do it? I explained it to them. So my whole day Saturday, going door to door and, visiting with the folks. And now I'm kind of a celebrity because of the articles.
Well, yeah, I do want to, let's talk a little bit about the article. It's in the News and Record, and it was published on the 23rd, Sunday.
No, that was the second. Part 2. Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, that's the big circuit. If you can get in the newspaper, Sunday's the day to do it because everybody, if they're going to read the paper.
2 Sundays back to back. I've even had writers. I didn't know I was such a good writer. I did write a master's thesis in NC State, and I do a lot of writing. But, they're telling me I'm a really good writer. I'm an exceptional writer. I've had people, some pretty, coming from some pretty good folks. I mean, a writer, he's a columnist for the Greensboro News and Record. I just signed him up last week, and he's like, Tommy, you're a really good writer.
Well, let me give you an example. When you actually involve the word romance into lawn care, you have accomplished something in writing that a lot of people are not going to be able to handle except the best. So let me see. Recycling is romantic. Gardening is romantic. You actually went for the R word in these things.
Oh, yeah, man. We love your lawn was kind of the whole,
Tell me a little bit about the article, and for folks that missed it, if they can access it through your website and that kind of stuff.
You can. They're on our website, the GrowinGreen, GrowinGreen.com. They are up on Clover's blog, so you could pull that up and read them. And maybe inspire you to love your lawn.
Now, this is the second in the 2-part series that ran. And what are the highlights on this piece that you put together for Sunday? What are the standout points that people are talking about?
I guess a lot of it has to do with the organic approach, the environmentally sound and safe approach to lawn care, and getting back to, ancient Korean farming. This goes back 2,000 years, and I'm sure beyond that, where folks would use indigenous microorganisms, and in Korea, they grow it out on rice. So they're collecting the microorganisms, the living, these are living bodies in the soil. It's part of the rhizosphere, where you have mycorrhizal fungi. You've got other types of fungi. You've got bacteria, rhizobium bacteria. You've got trichoderma. You have all these little fungi and bacteria. Then you've got larger microscopic organisms like protozoans and amoebas. And they all eat each other. And it creates fertilizer.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's how it works.
We're going to stop right there for this segment. By the way, if you have a question for our lawn care expert, his name is Tommy Cowett. He's with GrowinGreen. And this is a great chance to get some advice about your lawn. Maybe you have a particular problem. Call now. 896-1980.
Call now. The number is 896-1980. AM 980 The Eagle.
Good morning. It is 9:20, 20 minutes after 9. Bill Flynn this morning. We're talking about the Love Your Lawn Hour. And this is the time. This really is, in a lot of sense, the Christmas season for the lawn get-ready people, in the sense that you got to bring all the gifts to the lawn right now. If you're going to have the payoff in springtime, you need to be doing things, and this is the only time of the year. I mean, you've talked on the show too, Tommy, that sometimes you'll find a late season need to, do some quick seeding and you'll get something going, but really to get the roots where they need to be, to get the health of the plant, this is the only cycle that nature gives you right now.
Absolutely. Fall's the best time for seeding. That's been proven. And, if you seed in the springtime, sure, or even winter, like in January, the seed is going to come up. But see, your germination falls off as we get later in the winter. So, say now you're looking at like 90% germination rate on this seed we're putting out.
Makes all the difference.
As you get into November, that's going to start falling off. 80, 70, getting on in December, you're going to be down like 50, 30, and then nothing for a few months, January, February, it's just, could be frozen ground. And you can probably seed in the spring, but the problem is you're not going to be able to build enough of a root system to get you through the summer. And I tell all of our customers, everything we do from about September 1st through the end of May is all designed to get you through June, July, and August. These heat.
And we've had some brutal days this summer.
God. Over 30 days of 90. Mm-hmm. So it's been hot. Oh, and we've had some new diseases crop up.
Oh, I want to make sure we make time to talk about that.
Right.
And you were telling me that some of these diseases can actually be carried transatlantic. And you were talking about, for instance, the rain we had yesterday morning. Tell me about that.
Came from Daniel, which was a storm that was a predecessor to Erica, which was kind of threatening us over the weekend. But Daniel came through yesterday morning. At least I got about a half-inch of rain at my house yesterday morning.
It was a cool Washington State kind of day yesterday morning.
That was gift from Africa, and I'm sure it contains spores. Now, Africa has its large agricultural areas there. They grow a lot of rice, and this one particular pathogenic fungus of, it's really not that bad on tall fescue. In fact, I've never seen it before till last week on tall fescues, called gray leaf spot. It usually affects St. Augustine grass and perennial rye, which I saw it devastate after Hurricane Hugo, devastate all these fairways up in Maryland, the D.C. area, and up in Northern Virginia, on up into Pennsylvania, on up Delaware, and even on up into New England. The spores from the rice blast disease, man, overnight, it killed those fairways.
Just wiped them out.
Thousands of acres of beautiful perennial ryegrass fairways. Well, we've seen this thing attack lawns in the Piedmont. And, it's like, wait, he's on fungicide program. What is this? And we did get a turf alert from NC State that if you're on their website or if you're, signed up and subscribed to the turf files, turf alerts, the gray leaf spot warning came out about 2 weeks ago, and we were on the lookout for it, and it was like, oh, my God, there it is. Sure enough, I carry a hand lens around with me.
Some of
this, yeah. Right? Seen 2 cases of it on our customers' lawns.
Now, what county, in Forsyth County, have you seen this, or Guilford County?
Guilford is where we saw two actually incidences of this.
And are you fairly certain then this is a transatlantic spore that brought
this?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. No question about it. Gray leaf spot is from rice blast disease, and it traveled in the spores.
Well, what can you do then to either
fungicide application would have helped, but it takes double rate, and we're actually going out at a particular rate for brown patch and dollar spot and other things like that. We would not have expected to get gray leaf spot on tall fescue, but we did. So this is something we'll gear up for next year, and right now we're kind of stopping on the fungicides. We're at the end of that. We don't need it. Things are cooling down. We're going to be seeding these lawns anyway, so it's not going to be a particular problem.
You'll make
forward.
Up with new growth, whatever might have gotten this spore.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey,
and it will it survive the winter? The spore?
Oh, absolutely. This thing is these spores of these diseases will sit in the soil that become indigenous to the soil. Now, here's the cool thing about what we do. We're putting down an antagonistic, microorganism. We're putting down these antagonism beneficial bacteria, nematodes, and fungi that will actually get in the way of the pathogenic ones and fight them, become antagonistic to the ones that are pathogenic. And that's how you have a healthy lawn.
So you've somewhat disabled the spore, and then you've given a really strong start to that new plant, which is, again, its best defense, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
And in the cases where we saw it, they didn't lose the whole lawn. If they weren't on fungicides, they probably would have. Wow. They lost the lawn in certain areas where it was low spots, where they had like water soaked, where it was really wet. And that rains that came in, I think, I blame it on this 4 inch of rain is what it was. That we got I've got about 2 inches of rain from that storm that caused that gray leaf spot at my house. It was like a deluge. And in that rain, there was spores, and if you had like some low areas, that's where they lost this turf to the gray leaf spot. So, a lot of it's microclimate or an area, that's
now, are those spores
prone to getting wet.
Do those spores like a little bit of shady area and damp area, or they really respond to sunlight? I mean, it can be either one.
They're overall over the entire lawn. Where you're going to have your problems is where the lawn is susceptible to the pathogen. It may be weak there. Like I said, this is a low spot. Yeah. The root system's not functioning like it should because it's underwater or it's soaked. And it's not, doing very well. And then, of course, give it heat. Tall fescue is kind of semi-dormant. Hey, you're leading yourself up, setting yourself up for a disease to wipe you out.
Well, it's good to be you got that alert from North Carolina State, so you were well ahead of the curve at GrowinGreen to make sure we're alert to this. We know what to look for. We know if we see it, what we can do, and the best way to
stopped it in its tracks, actually.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to take a short break, come back with more of the Love Your Lawn Hour. We have Tommy Cowett with us with GrowinGreen.
Morning.
Be a part of the program, 896-1980. You got a question about your lawn, a problem you've seen? We can probably answer it right here in real time for you.
Call now. The number is 896-1980. AM 980 The Eagle.
It is 9:36, and you are listening to the Love Your Lawn Hour. And there's no question, when you hear Tommy Cowett of GrowinGreen talk about his work, you hear the passion in his voice, and I think that's one of the reasons that people have been so responsive to the show. In fact, I have a friend that listens to the show pretty routinely, and she says she would really love to just spend an hour picking your brain, and that's what we do every Tuesday here when you're on the show. So you can pick the brain, and you can call us at 896-1980, and look who's jumped in line here, Jeanette, in the Ardmore area, which you're very familiar with, Tommy. You do work out there a lot, I know. And Jeanette, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. And I do listen to the program every Tuesday.
Do you love hearing Tommy's passion about these things?
I do.
Thank you.
Well, Tommy, I do have a question. I have the GrowinGreen surface, and when Zach, my technician, comes, I know he tells me to water it twice a day and all, but I'm not able to do that. If I can get one or two times in maybe a week, and if it rains, I'm okay. But what happens if you can't, water it as often?
That's a great question, and I think Jeanette may speak for a lot of people that there's this, is it a physical issue? Is it hard for you to get out on the lawn, or is it moving the sprinkler around?
Moving the hose in the area is a large one, and I did have some trouble with the fungus that Tommy has mentioned the past few weeks, and I was able to do a little, but it's just hard.
Well, I'm sorry you're having the difficulty of getting that hose moved around, and I know it's tough, but hey, Mother Nature is going to take care of you. Zach got the seed out and in the soil, so it's just going to take longer for it to germinate. But you shouldn't lose any seed. These seeds are very durable, and they will withstand a lot of drying out, and, it's not going to it die. The worst thing I think that could happen would be if they all came up and then the water just turned off completely for weeks after week after week with no rain at all, and then they would desiccate and not survive. But I think, that's one forgiving thing about doing seeding in the fall is that we usually have cooler temperatures. And after the baby seeds do germinate, they are pretty durable. They will survive, and you should be fine. As long as we don't get back into the 90s, going forward, here temperatures are going to just fall off. We'll have 80-degree days and then cool 50-degree nights, and then, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It just takes longer. like there's a lot of people who get a seeding and they're really anxious. They want to see it, all perfect in a couple of weeks, and you can do that, but it does require watering daily.
Okay.
And I hope Zach's taking good care of you. You like Zach?
Oh, yes. Yes,
isn't he
has.
a great guy? I mean, you look at Zach, he's like, this guy is like, he's a really handsome gentleman. He should be a movie star.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
He's very nice, and he explains things to me, and which is a big help, and because all I know is if the grass gets high, it needs cut,
Sure.
and if it gets brown, it needs water, and it needs something, and that's my limit. But
Well,
when
good.
you describe the different kinds, and well, I'm lost, so that's where I am. But I do appreciate what you're doing, and what you I like that you talk in everyday. How do I want to say, speech or talk
Terms.
and don't use real outlandish names or terms because it's hard to understand.
Sure. Hey, I'm keeping it real.
Hey,
Yep.
Jeanette, I just got a quick question. Are there any children or young teenage guys in the neighborhood or even young girls that would maybe be available to come to your house to pull the sprinkler around for you for a few bucks? I mean, hire them like you would hire a neighborhood person to watch your cat or your dog or something while you're away. Is that even an option where you are?
Well, not too much, but that's a thought. I can think about it.
Because I mean, if you're having trouble getting out there, I know some middle schoolers probably get out there happily yanking a hose around the lawn for a couple of hours.
Or
and
even have water balloon fights and stuff. They can have
now
a fun time.
that may be the thing. The water balloon fight central could solve all your problems there.
Sure. That might be a way to answer the problem.
Anyway.
Well, the most important part is that if, for lack of it, other than the 90-degree plus weather, it will take care of itself in the sense.
It
like
really
you say,
will.
nature.
Yeah, we wait till September 1st because we know things are going to start to cool down now. It takes a couple weeks for the seed to germinate and come up. And then, once we start getting into later in September, it just gets cooler, and the little baby seedlings are cool season grasses, and they really start to mature very quickly. And then they're on their own. You can wait on Mother Nature. She's very forgiving in the fall. Not so much in the spring, though.
No, but
Nope.
as you say, it's well, how do I want to say it? We're getting on the roll now with the fall weather, so we'll take off. Well, thanks a lot.
Great talking to you.
Yeah.
Call us if we can be of service and help you. Just if you have any concerns or anything, we'll be happy to come out and walk the lawn with you, and love to spend time with you on the lawn.
Okay.
That's a
Thank
sweet
you.
thing. Jeanette, thanks
Hey,
for the
have a great
call
one.
this morning. It's and Jeanette's in the Ardmore area.
Yep.
And the technician, you knew right away it was Zach, I think you said. That,
Oh, yeah.
That he services those
Yes.
houses in the Ardmore area.
Zach Wood. He's
Obviously,
a great guy.
she's happy with him.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good thing. But she does bring up a point for especially older folks that are really at a time in life when they can appreciate the yard more. Maybe they're home more. They want to be home more.
Sure.
But then maybe the physical side of things, they can't get out and move the sprinkler around as easily, and that is an issue for folks.
It's not an easy job moving sprinklers around. It's tough. I mean, and like I said, I like a kind. The rotary impact heads, they really get it wet.
You are
quicker.
going to get wet when you do this. There's no way you can not get wet doing this kind of work. All right, we're going to take a short break, come back with our final segment, and if you have a question for our lawn expert, Tommy Cowett, this morning in Growing Green, 896-1980. Our phone number this morning, 896-1980. Last chance for you to catch up with Tommy this week on the radio.
Call now. The number is 896-1980, AM 980, The Eagle.
Good morning. We continue our final segment of this installment of the Love Your Lawn Hour. With us is Tommy Cowett of GrowinGreen. And let me encourage you. Good morning, Tommy. And let me encourage you to take advantage of the GrowinGreen website. You may be a customer, and it's especially helpful there. But even if you're not a customer, there's some valuable information. Ask the expert, which is an option for you to go and ask questions. You may find that somebody has already asked that exact same question, and you get a highly detailed answer already there. Or if it hasn't been answered, it's a pretty quick turnaround on that. I mean, it doesn't sit there for long before it gets addressed.
We go. We have 3 full-time territory managers, myself, Mike Gorson, and Chuck Ream, and we're on spot. You got a question you want us to look at your lawn, you want a free estimate, we'll be there.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yep, we'll get it to you in 24 hours. And then usually if you sign up on the program, we try to get new customers going 24 to 48 hours.
That's fast. So it's not like you make the appointment now and I'll see you sometime in late October.
No. We jump right on it, get out there, get you measured, get quote to you. Basically, when you get a quote, you're going to get the treatments, the biological enhanced lawn treatments. Those we do 7 a year, up to 7 a year. Then you'll get the fungicide, a quote for fungicides. We do 5 of those starting in May and running through August. You'll get a seeding and aeration price. You'll get an insect control price, which is 2 treatments, one in the spring, one in the fall, targeting the grub, but we pick up cutworms, armyworms, lots of crickets, anything, pill bugs, anything, earwigs. We had the earwig story, Bill. I don't want to talk about earwigs.
I don't want to hear about the earwigs at all, but I know they're important to not to deal with.
You don't want earwigs in your ear because they truly are. And then you'll get, we also have a tree and shrub program that consists of 7 treatments. It can cure a lot of problems on your lawn if you have scale or aphids or, God, some of these terrible mite problems that are starting to pop up around that are unbelievable, that the damage they cause or what they do to the plant. The plant is actually responding to the attack. And
almost like histamines in a person when you get your sinuses full and you can't see or you can't breathe.
Oh, yeah. So
similarly,
other things
plants
go nuts, right?
Yeah.
So your plant is responding to the attack and puts off this really wacky growth or deformed growth happens. A lot of times people mistake that for herbicide injury, and it's not. We don't use a lot of herbicide. So they'll go, hey, you damaged my shrubs. Herbicides. We come out, we look at it, we see that it's this reoccurring mite issue, and we can even send that off to NC State and verify that it's definitely these mites, and a beetle, Asiatic beetles, cause this too. It's a response the plant has. And then we do mosquito control throughout the summer. 5 treatments are offered. And what else? We do one other thing I'm trying to think of. Bed pre-emergent for your weeds and in the beds, which back we were talking about when Smith's wife was out there pulling all those weeds and those rocks.
Oh, yeah, bless her heart. Yes.
What a mess. So you don't want that to happen. Yeah, it's back-breaking work.
What you've talked about, Tommy, and this is, I think, what maybe a lot of us that have attempted to do things on our own over the years, it is a full season and a full circle program that you're talking about. Because, listen, if you do everything perfectly, let's say you rent an aerator and you perfectly seed with 0% weed seed, and that's going to
eliminate problems.
Yeah, it will. But unless you do all of these other things, the pre-emergent and or the and being ready for these diseases that can come up, you're really throwing money out the window unless you do it in a truly holistic,
systematic, right?
Yeah, right.
Very cool. Right. That's what we do. It's all done. It's
professional.
It's professional because it's tried and true. These are things we've been doing for years and years, and we've perfected this. And, we've learned from our mistakes, And
learned the fact that Mother Nature throws different curveballs at you every time.
Sure, and we're not afraid to try things new. We test products all the time. Of course, if you're driving around and you see white grass or white weeds, and you're wondering what in the world is going on in that lawn. That's Pilex. That's a new chemistry, a carotenoid inhibitor. That's probably a product from either BASF or Syngenta.
Now, tell me about Pilex and why you think it's something we should hear about.
Well, I'll tell you about Pilex. It's extremely expensive. So the bottle that we have that we're running, the guys are using now, stays on Scott Reese's desk. It doesn't sit back there in the chemical room.
As a matter of personal security, and I want to know where this is.
We don't need, I mean, it's only a drop is all you need to do a large area. I mean,
you drop literally one drop of this stuff.
One drop goes a long way, and we mix it with another herbicide to make it more effective because we did test this, but it's really a Bermuda suppressor by itself. Now, if you mix it with the triclopyr, then you could take out Bermuda and actually kill it in the fescue, take it out of the fescue without damaging the fescue.
Wow, what a trick that is.
Right.
Because if you've been battling Bermuda, as some people will say they've been doing, that's a huge deal right there.
This is the time of year to do it, and you might see it. Look around. If you see white in the lawn, you know it just like a piece of paper, white notebook paper. It's
white, okay.
Solid white. It turns the Bermuda grass, crabgrass, goose grass, panic grass. It really works on it. It even it helps suppress Dallas grass. These are noxious weeds nobody wants in their lawn. And now they're really going rampant. They're warm season weeds and grasses that are just growing like beyond belief right now, and you can take them out.
I'm fascinated by it. You said this bottle of this stuff that only takes a drop that you then mix in a whatever the ratio is
in our sprayers.
I mean, is it there because it's dangerous or because it's so expensive? Why
because
is it
it's very expensive. It's $400 for like a pint, 16 ounces. So you're looking at, I mean, it's very expensive.
A pint is only like this?
Yeah, so you need 4 ounces to the acre. So it's, it's about $100 an acre.
Wow.
That's pretty expensive for a product.
But is this a new arrival on the
Yes,
on the
it
market?
is. It's only a couple years old. Yep.
But it's already been tested, and you know exactly.
Yeah, you get on our website and check out some videos and see what that looks like. It's solid white. Now, you got to mix. We can do this professionally. To get the kind of control you want, you've got to mix the Pilex with the triclopyr. I get this from all over the country. That video has become very popular. And folks call me from Kansas.
Did you do the video yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
at the shop.
Yes.
Couple of videos. One was done in Rodney Wicker's lawn, where we were taking out some Bermuda at his house and testing it to see, hey, is it going to damage Rodney's fescue? And it didn't. And we were able to take it out in a couple of years. I think he might still have a little Bermuda left. But, man, Bermuda's roots, it could be a foot down. So it's going to regenerate and come back. A little bit, but you can take out, say, 85% of it in 1 year, and then you only got that 15% to deal with the next year, and then you hit that, and then you down to, so it's a sequential way to remove it.
But you're making huge gains. I mean, I literally watched one of my neighbors for years battling the Bermuda, and it was every season.
Roundup,
he was trying to squeeze down the space of the Bermuda, and it was a good season if he kept it from getting any bigger, and a really, really good season if he was able to kill a little bit of it. Not the 80%, but maybe 10%.
You need the hot temperatures. This is a great year to kill it. And, because if you can get it growing, the plant will metabolize this material and die. And that's the goal, is to kill it. Now, last year...
Without killing everything else around it. Yeah.
Without damaging the fescue. Last year, it was really cool. So I think what was going on, we didn't have that great of results with it last year, and we were very puzzled. Because the prior year, we saw some really great results. And then last year was so cool. We had like 9 days of 90. That's not Bermuda growth. And, of course, we lost a lot of Bermuda to winter kill just because it didn't have the hot temperatures. Global warming did not kick in last year. So, it was...
Of all the times. Well, let me encourage you. Our window of discussion is just about up, but if you would like to continue the conversation, if you will, with GrowinGreen, let me highly recommend them. You can go to the website at growingreen.com, growingreen.com. You can also call directly 1-866-LAWN-HELP. That's 1-866-LAWN-HELP. Love Your Lawn Hour. Great to see you, Tommy. Thank you so much. All righty.